Well, in this video, let me analyze the contours of the Bihar election mandate. Firstly, in a nail-biting finish, the BJP JDU combined have won the mandate, but with a very slender margin of 125 seats, and the RJD combined could put up a very impressive show with 110 seats. The Trojan horse is the MIM, which could win the 5 seats. And not just the numbers, at least in many seats, the gap between the winning and the losing candidates is only few hundred votes. So a small shift could have made a very big difference. This is the context in which Tejasvi Yadav says the postal ballots were not counted at the beginning as per the EC guidelines, and there are a lot of fraud in the counting, and he still claims that he has won. So the veracity of Tejasvi's claims need to be analyzed and investigated. But the fact remains that the RJD-led combine has put a very significant show. So if you look at in detail, so the BJP JDU combine has certainly won the elections, but the BJP has won at the cost of the JDU. The JDU loses to the role as a senior partner in the NDA, and BJP with its 74 seats emerges as the senior partner in the ruling alliance. Of course, the Nitish Kumar might have been made the chief minister, but the reality is he will be functioning at the mercy of the BJP. So, so this happened in Maharashtra too. Of course, they lost the power in Maharashtra because they did not concede chief minister post to Uddhav Thackeray. But in Bihar, learning from the experience of Maharashtra, the BJP conceded the chief minister post to the Nitish Kumar. So this process of growing at the cost of allies, the BJP growing at the cost of allies, is quite evident. That's precisely perhaps the reason why the Akali Dal walked out of the alliance in Punjab. So this is the story of the BJP in Bihar. Then the second story, the Lok Janshakti Party, is certainly the villain. It could affect the chances of JDU in as many as 30 seats. So the NDA tally was pulled down by the Lok Janshakti Party, revolting. But however, even if the LJP was part of the NDA, I am sure the guarantee of votes is not ensured, because elections do not operate on arithmetic. There is a chemistry behind it. So the upper caste voters who are in favor of the BJP but disenchanted with the Nitish Kumar voted for LJP because LJP was outside NDA. So several of the BJP senior leaders who revolted against the party contested as rebels and contested on the LJP ticket, and the upper caste voters have voted for them. In case LJP was part of the ruling NDA, the upper caste would have gone to the RJD-led alliance, and the NDA might have lost heavily also. So, but the LJP had succeeded in taking the in harming Nitish Kumar, at least, if they are not prevented him from becoming the chief minister. So the LJP could strike but not wound Nitish Kumar. So the RJD certainly deserves to be credited for its remarkable performance, especially the 31-year-old Tejasvi Yadav has now become the cynosure of the anti-BJP politics. In the absence of Lalu Prasad Yadav, Tejasvi could not only forge a formidable alliance comprising of the Congress and the left, but he has managed to come to the gateway of power. So if the narrow margins could have been turned in his advantage, RJD could have won the elections. And the single most reason for the RJD's failure to win the mandate is the Congress. Congress has contested 70 seats and could win only 19 seats. Its strike rate is the worst in the alliance. So the RJD could win 75 seats and emerge as the single largest party. Surprising is the left performance. Left won, within the left, the CP-IML alone won 12 seats out of the 19 seats it contested. The total left parties combined put together are 116 out of the 29 seats it contested. So the left strike rate is also much superior to the Congress strike rate. But for the weakest performance of the Congress, the RJD-led alliance could have come to power. So if the Tejasvi Yadav has not been so magnanimous to the Congress, and if he has not given so many seats to the Congress, the result would have been different. Then the role of the MIM. MIM could make a remarkable show in Bihar by winning the 5 seats In 2015, MIM could not open its account and subsequently entered the Bihar assembly through a bypoll from Kishanganj. Well, this time it lost the Kishanganj, but won in 5 more seats. So the major attack on MIM is that it harmed the RJD chances in several seats. So thus indirectly benefiting the BJP. However, Owaisi refuted this claim and he said that he has won for himself 5 seats. So now MIM is slowly expanding its national footprint. It has 9 legislators in Telangana, 7 MLAs in 2 MLCs. It has 2 MPs, Hyderabad and Aurangabad. It has 2 MLAs in Maharashtra and local bodies in Telangana, Maharashtra and Uttar Pradesh. And now it's going to focus on West Bengal and Uttar Pradesh. So MIM is slowly emerging as a pan-India Muslim political party. As of now, except in Kerala and Assam, Muslims largely vote for non-Muslim parties. But for the first time, the MIM is trying to garner the Muslim vote, thereby making a dent into the vote bank of the non-BJP parties and indirectly benefiting the BJP. So this election is a clear indication. RJD has performed much better than the Congress in the alliance. BJP has performed much better than the JDU in the alliance. So it's surprisingly not an equitable performance of the alliance. But the BJP is the major gainer in this election because it has benefited from the JDU vote base. Nitish Kumar did not perform as worse as it was expected. He could still manage to win the 43 seats. The most backward class and Mahadalits especially rallied behind the Nitish Kumar. And women voters were larger in number this time. So nearly 60% of women voted, while it is around 55% in the men. That shows the women voting is 5% higher. Unfortunately, there are fewer women MLAs elected this time. But Nitish Kumar is expected to have been benefited significantly by the larger women turnout. So it's not so easy to dismiss Nitish Kumar in Bihar politics. He still could win the 43 seats. He could still maintain his social base. So Nitish Kumar is a force to reckon with in the Bihar politics. But the surprising thing is the BJP's vote has not transferred to Nitish Kumar. But Nitish Kumar vote has transferred to BJP. So this is the new dynamics of alliances in Indian politics.